going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear podcast. And today we want to look into the Week 10 performance of rookie wide receiver Luther Burden and what he brought to the Chicago Bears offense, helping them coming back against the New York Giants. Today's going to be all about Luther Burden in his breakout performance, in my opinion. Even though the stats might not indicate it against the New York Giants, he had his best performance of his young career on tape, and I'm excited to break that down to you guys today in depth. His 3 receptions that he had against New York and how he just looked like an elite route runner in that game. Now, as a quick recap for the game, another nerve-wracking game for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams played outstanding. The receivers, most of them, did not want to help their young quarterback. I think they did a pretty good job scheming against the New York Giants. It was just the execution that was lacking a little bit by the offensive players. And then the defense obviously struggled against a young rookie quarterback as well. But by the end of it, when he was out and Russell Wilson was in, got a couple of clutch stops to get the ball back into Caleb Williams' hands. And we know if it's the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams turns into a different animal. His killer instinct kicks in, and the Chicago Bears were able to survive against the New York Giants in a big win here in Week 10. Now, for today, one of the most consistent wide receivers was Luther Burden, the main focus of today's Film Room episode. And in his All-22, we're going to look in detail at his performance today and answer the question, should he be the starter moving forward over Olamide Zaccheaus, who struggled against the New York Giants? We're going to talk about that in today's conclusion. Now, for statistics, nothing eye-popping. He had 3 targets, 3 receptions for 51 yards, which equals a yards per reception rate of 17 yards per reception, which is pretty solid. He had a receiving EPA of plus 3.2, which is pretty good, and 18 yards after the catch, and a yards after the catch over expected of plus 11, which ranks top 16 in Week 10 so far. Obviously, with the Eagles and Packers game still pending to happen, but still a pretty good performance once again after the catch, but much more as we'll see in today's Film Room. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Film Room and talk about how Luther Burden displayed his full potential against the Giants in Week 10 of the regular season next. And the 3 receptions will be in the focus of today's Film Room episode. There was no other significant route that I saw on tape besides one dig route where I also liked his route running ability, but it's not that important. I think it's enough if we focus on his 3 receptions. Overall, he only had 8 routes ran where he was able to potentially catch a football. So there's not a lot here, but with those 3 receptions, he made the most out of his possibilities. So starting off straight up with reception number 1, 2nd and 1 situation for the Chicago Bears, and that is shot territory for Ben Johnson and heavy play action game for the Bears. Since Ben Johnson took over, the Bears are in I formation with Durham Smythe in the backfield, and obviously also DeAndre Swift, who was back now after an injured week against the Bengals that he missed. And for the concept right here, we have a play action in pocket, heart play action play, where we're taking a shot here early on in the game, and you have Olamide Zaccheaus running somewhat of a deep crosser just to clear the way and clear out those safeties, and Luther Burden on his reception here runs a 5-step dig route, and then you have Durham Smythe and DeAndre Swift who go on to checkdowns, as well as Cole Kmet, who's going into the flats for a checkdown as well. So I really like the play design here, giving Caleb Williams options to take a shot down the field, but also a couple of checkdown options as well. And for Luther Burden here, like I said, he runs a 5-step dig route with a speed cut at the top of his route here. And first of all, what I love about this route is that he full strides out of his stance, selling vertical. Okay, every route that we want to run as wide receivers, we want to make it look the same, and we want to make it look like we're running a go route. So a off corner here drops back actually in those situations and gives us more room to work with, and that fits perfectly here because the Giants play a 5-2 front here and they play a cover 3 coverage behind it. So he has a corner that is playing outside shaded of him here, and I love the fact that he stems his route at the cornerback, who is, like I said, outside shaded here, creating room inside for himself here to work into. So that's a great little point here to make, that he already has the knowledge of creating space for himself by just stemming at the off corner, creating more space for him inside. And then when we look at the top of the route, a really sudden jab step here, no indicators whatsoever throughout the route, and runs a great speed cut here, keeps it flat so there's no chance for the cornerback to undercut that route here, and finds space in behind the linebackers, who get sucked in by that play action, hard play action in the pocket for the Chicago Bears here. And then as he catches it, then of course the yak ability that we know he possesses, he straight up goes north-south here on that play, takes multiple defenders to take him down here, and fights for every single inch here on this rep. A great first play to look at, and it even gets better. Moving on to the second play, straight up 1st and 10 situation now for the Chicago Bears, as they are in a 2-by-2 formation after Rome Odunze motions over to the single side, and you have a stacked formation between DJ Moore here and Luther Burden, and we have a pre-snap side and a flood side here, a concept side. So the flood concept is being run by Cole Kmet, who runs a 5 and out, and Rome Odunze, who runs a go route, just stretching the field here. You have DeAndre Swift sitting down over the middle, and then on the stack side, the pre-snap side, if Caleb Williams likes it, he has DJ Moore, who's on the ball here, running an inside release out, speed out, and then also Luther Burden running a speed out. So double speed outs here to attack that defense by the New York Giants. And speaking of their defense, they're in a 4-2-5 here for them, and running a cover 1 robber. So we got man coverage, and if you look at Luther Burden, the guy above him, he's playing off coverage here against him. So for Caleb Williams, that's an easy read. You got the inside stem taking away that nickel cornerback over DJ Moore, creating more space for Luther Burden, and then you have a off corner, and it's just now on Luther Burden to get open. But pre-snap, that's a read for Caleb Williams. That's what he wants to go to. He knows that before the ball is even snapped. And if we shift the focus now to Luther Burden, what he does on this rep, we see another perfect executed route by the young receiver. First of all, he attacks and stems again at the outside leverage of the off coverage man cover corner here, has a vertical stride, no indicators once again, and then we are back to the top of the route right here, stays square with his shoulders, again no indicators, and has a powerful stick step. So stick is with his inside foot if we're going out, and I bet you guys, you heard the ground pop because it looks very powerful, and the power he generates with his foot here to get back outside here. And he then also here on this speed out flattens the route again, so there's no possibility for the cornerback to undercut this route. Doing a good job of making it a safe throw for Caleb Williams. Has great hands on the rep, good connection between Caleb and him right here. And then again, I'm repeating myself, the yak ability. That man hates going out of bounds. He runs like every yard is an incentive, and he lowers his shoulder here on this one and runs through the defensive back and gains 6 additional yards on a speed out, which is a shorter hitting route here, and almost gets a first down on this play. You gotta love it, man. He's an absolute animal. And then for the last play that we want to look at today, a 2nd and 3 situation for the Chicago Bears late in the game, needing a score here to take the lead late in the game here, and Luther Burden has a big contribution to that win right here. And 2nd and 3, what do the Bears do on that down? Exactly, they take play action shots, and that's what they do once again right here. Chicago Bears are in a 3-by-1 situation with Luther Burden being on the single side by himself, running a stop and go curl route, getting open on a 15-yard deep route. And then you have the inside zone sell for Caleb Williams, and then you have DeAndre Swift also selling that play action and sitting down for a check down over the middle. Cole Kmet stays in for the pass protection. Durham Smythe is check releasing into the flats for a check down, and then Olamide Zaccheaus is running a deep corner curl, and the Bears are just trying to expose that cover 4 look here by the New York Giants. 5-2 front here for them, and they play somewhat of a cover 4 press look, and it's either a match or stubby look for them, meaning it's basically a man cover corner on Luther Burden here, and he's a great opportunity to win a big one-on-one here, and he does so by first of all running a elite route here, literally a textbook stop and go curl, teach tape. That's what you would show on clinics, and this is a signature rookie year rep in my opinion, combining everything he can add to the Chicago Bears offense and proving my preseason take after the draft that he can be a complete receiver in the NFL, not just a yak guy as most people titled him during the draft process. And what he does on this route is that he shows his good release package here off the line with a split release with some burst off the line, and then explodes upfield, threatens the defensive back with clean strides, no indicators once again, and then has literally a textbook rep at the top of the route, stopping within 3 steps here off of the full speed is what we're wanting to do, stopping on a dime, what most people refer to, right? And he has a great trigger step here, which is the deceleration step, the step that makes our body go from moving forward to stopping on a dime. And look at his hip drop being low and all the weight transfer that he does on this rep here, and shows the ability to stop in 3 steps here, which is literally perfect. Works back to the football, friendly to the quarterback, and makes the catch, and then works up the field immediately. Like I said, I'm basically repeating myself with every single route here because he's technically so sound and just does it well every single time. And right here, gains 10 yards after the catch, once again dragging 2 defensive backs down the field. And that concludes our 3 reps that we want to focus on today with Luther Burden. Absolutely awesome. And with that being said, we're moving on to the conclusion of today's video. And I want to start that off by thanking the Green Bay Packers for drafting Matthew Golden in the first round, making sure that Luther Burden slips into the second round right into the lap of the Chicago Bears. So thank you guys for getting us that great playmaker. I really appreciate it. And then overall, I want to say Antoine Randall L. has done a great job so far developing this young stud, much further along as I expected at this point of his rookie season. I mean, he literally looks like a veteran star wide receiver out there. He does a great job of reading coverages and leverages, setting up his routes, is really efficient with his routes at the top of the route, and also his quickness in and out of breaks is phenomenal. And then his yak ability was on display once again as well, something we already knew, but he really translated that into the NFL with ease. So I'm gonna say just one thing: this is a star in the making, and I can't wait to see how he's going to develop further down the road for the Chicago Bears. So for the question at the beginning of the video, should he get more looks over Olamide Zaccheaus? Yes, yes, yes. I really do like Olamide Zaccheaus. I think he's a really solid player. He had a down game. It happens, okay? Players do have bad games. They're only humans as well. But overall, I think Olamide Zaccheaus is a great wide receiver 4, but I think Luther Burden is the future here, and he looks more than ready for an increase in snaps for the Bears offense. Seems like the timing is well down with Caleb Williams too. They have a pretty good connection as well. So I don't see a way where Luther Burden will not get more looks moving forward. And at latest in 2026, will be on a big-time breakout watch for him being one of the better receivers in the NFL, in my opinion. And with that being said, guys, that's the end of today's episode. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Luther Burden's performance against the New York Giants. And also make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free, but supports me a lot. I would really appreciate it. And with that being said, there's another film room coming up in the next couple of days, so be excited for that. And with that being said, I see you guys in the next episode. And as always, guys, bear down.